Hi, let's talk briefly about the virtual lab setup that SUNY Plattsburgh has arranged. This video and these links that I'm showing you right now are both for JOU317 and 318. 317, you may want to use Photoshop. You probably will need to a couple of times, maybe even more frequently. Maybe some other programs, but you don't have a whole lot of need of the virtual lab. And if you have your own version of Photoshop, then that's fine to use. But however, this might be interesting information and useful for this class or some others. 318, this is extensively involved view for the page design course, because of course InDesign is required, and Photoshop might be used too, but especially as InDesign. And that's less likely to have it in person. And also, more and more, I'm thinking that if you have your own copy of InDesign, you probably should use that as a last resort. I think if you are available to come in person to one of the labs, and the labs are still open, as at this time we're told they still are going to be. Certainly the lab in Ward and the media classroom in Ward will be available to you on regular days, Monday through Friday. Alternatively, this virtual lab setup. The advantage of using those is that you'll have the same fonts and the styles will work properly, so the assignments will tend to work properly. If you're using your own version of InDesign, you've got a whole other possible mess of not having proper fonts, not having things look the way they're supposed to look. So let's continue then. Right now you're probably watching this video right here. And it says, it is a good alternative if you're not able to use on-campus computer labs, although I think, of course, an on-campus computer is actually better and safer. Because I wonder what's going to happen to these lab connections. First of all, if you don't have a really good internet connection, that's another problem too. But let's look at, these are the links that are available for you on Moodle. This remote desktop documentation link takes you here. And you'll see there is some explanation here. It tells you what software is available in which labs. And Adobe Suite is what you really care about. So that's available, Adobe Creative Cloud in the Feinberg Lab, and Adobe Suite is available in JOU318 and in 104. So those would be the ones you would really, Creative Cloud is in Feinberg, not there. So there's like 3 places you could get this stuff, 3 virtual places. How to connect, there's the link there, or you see I have a link back in the main page. It explains that you're going to have to log in. Then you're going to have a list of labs you can go to, and then you're going to get to a desktop. Saving, printing is a bit of a problem. I'm not sure if you're going to want to print. But here's something that I really want to bring to your attention. Connection timeout. Connections to remote computers will time out or disconnect after 1 hour, which may result in loss of work if not saved before this point. Yikes. Log out from a remote computer, they want you to log out from the computer too. Okay, so there is some information here that you could review. And the link to get into the virtual lab is on this page, but also on your Moodle front, and this is what it looks like. Okay, and I'm going to log in as me. And you'll have, I've already done a login, so I don't think I'm not being asked for my dual login thing with my phone, but you will be. Okay, so that's one problem. Okay, that's one issue. Just to remember, you're still going to have a bunch of logins. In fact, you may have duplicate logins. Now, right now I'm in a browser. I'm in Chrome. You see on my desktop. It's showing me what labs are available. It shows me also that I actually had a recent connection to a computer in JOU318 using the Adobe Suite. But let me go to a different lab, and I'm going to go to Feinberg. No, I don't want to go to Feinberg. I'm going to go to 104, which is Adobe Suite in it also. So I'm going to go JOU318. Okay, I'm going to take a moment here. I kind of wonder what happens if a bunch of people are trying to use these connections at the same time. Also, it depends, as you can see, on your internet connection. And this is taking longer than I expected. But finally I'm there. Okay, so what's going on? Well, really, I am looking at the desktop of a computer, right? As if there's one in the lab. And you see how I can move around this desktop and click on things, and I could go to bring up Adobe InDesign. Okay, sure. Now, or Photoshop, but I'll do InDesign because that's more difficult. So it's going to take probably about the normal length of time to start up, and you know InDesign can take quite a while. Here's something to think about while this is happening. You probably also want to open up a browser on this computer. Why? Because you're going to have to get your template. You have to get the files to download, and you're going to still have to use Moodle on this computer. Even if you have Moodle open on your own computer, that doesn't help you. Everything has to be done on this computer in the browser. Likewise, you're going to want to have a browser open on this computer also. And I'll start one now. Probably because you might want to log into your email, because maybe that's how you're going to save the files. Maybe you're going to save the files by emailing them to yourself when you're done. Or maybe you're going to upload them to Moodle because maybe you are done. You'll have to have Moodle running on this computer. So I'm in a browser here. Wow. It can be easy to get mixed up, a browser to browser. So you have a browser out here and have a browser in here. So I'm going to go to Moodle. So I'm logging into Moodle. Now, okay, I have to log in. Even though I'm on Moodle already in my computer, I have to log in here, right? And stay logged in, and guess what? It's going to want dual factor. Send me a push. Okay, so now I'm on Moodle, and here I could get resources for an assignment. I could upload assignments, of course. I'm going to go into our 318 class. Those of you from 317, this doesn't apply to you exactly, but the same idea does, that you may have to go get some stuff. So I have need my InDesign templates here, right? So I'm going to have to right-click, save link as. Remember now, I'm doing this on that local computer, that computer over in Yoakum, I guess. So where am I going to put this? I'm going to go to the T drive. I see a bunch of folders there. Who knows whose they are or anything, right? I'm going to make one for me. I'm on the T drive of somebody else, of the computer over there. And I'm going to call it, give it my name, and say open. And then I'm going to save down. Come on, computer. So it's a lot to ask a computer to do. An internet connection is opening up InDesign and saving files through a browser. And right now things are kind of stuttering. Okay, I'm saving that template down. All right, I'm going to also save my library down. Save link as, and it will go into the same place in my Jack folder. And maybe I'm going to go grab some other files, resource files too, right? By the way, the wide open assignment, which will be done, this again applies to 318, but the same ideas for 317. I'm going to go get resource files, and I'm going to get my wide open one stuff, which is a zip file I have to download. I'm putting all this stuff in that same folder. Okay, so I've downloaded that stuff. I can see the downloads here, but these are the downloads on that browser, as opposed to these over here, which are the downloads on my home browser. Okay, confusing. And I've got to get to the desktop to see what's going on, or my InDesign. My InDesign was opening up. Now, InDesign is going to want its own login, right? Even though I may have logged in InDesign on my own computer here. Oh, gotta put my email address first. And I'm going to continue, and then it's going to say, log in with company or school account. And it's going to say, send me a push. I'm going to put information all in again. And I'm going to say, stay logged in. Remember me? send me a push. And my Adobe login is done. Okay, good. I've noticed on a couple computers, actually in person too, some strange messages sometimes after logging in about distiller and so on. Hopefully you can just X those out if you get them. I don't seem to be getting them right now. However, I can go, remember, I'm on the desktop of that other computer. I could go look at my T drive and find my Jack, oops, I went by it there, Jack folder, and I could go in here and open up the template just by double clicking on it. My template opens up. Again, you 317 people, I guess you could probably tune out now. You'd be opening up Photoshop maybe some other program. There's a couple other programs we might be using. Well, of course, Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver, that'd be a similar issue. You'd open up Dreamweaver, and Dreamweaver in some ways might run a little more easily than InDesign because it's a lighter program and it has less to do. However, there'll be the whole issue of saving your work as you go and then getting that copy, because the Dreamweaver tutorial will take several hours to do, or at least a few hours, 3 hours or something. So you're not going to be able to do it all at once. So you need to keep saving your work and make sure to take your work with you. There's that issue. And also that will have to be saved as a zip folder too, which has its own complications because it's not just a single file, although you can save the files separately, but it has to be a zip folder really. So there's all that issue. However, theoretically, I guess it would still stay on that T drive. So I hope you could get to the same one again. I'll have to wait and see how that goes. However, so you're going into Dreamweaver, it'd be the same kind of process. So, but it's a different program, and I don't want this stupid thing here. I can get rid of that. Come on. Okay, finally. See, some things are a little slow, but I can move around on the page. I can do Control-0 to see the whole thing. I can change my workspace as I want to change it. I can go to Pages and still apply inside Pages. I can go to File, Open, and open up my library from my folder. And I could take that library and I could still dock it over here. All right, so all that stuff's working. I could go to my library still and get out a shape, 4-column 2-head shape, which maybe I'll just stick it there for now. I can still draw my photo box. I'm just doing this stuff, which is obviously I can still do it, just to try to show you that I can zoom in, of course. I can still place a photo a couple ways. Okay, shoot, you gotta make sure. See what I just did? I just went to go to my computer windows on my computer. That's no good. You go to the my computer windows here on the browser desktop, and then I can go into here and I could choose I could open this zip folder, copy the contents, go back, paste it. I got now a folder of stuff. Open that up. I could take a JPEG and drop it on there. I don't think that's the one that goes there. I think it's Italy. Okay, I could go here and I could fit it. It's not quite there on the page, but you'll see that in the assignment, that photo. Of course, I need to fit it properly and so on. I need the cut line. I can put a story in there, delete the placeholder text first, and I can drag and drop from here. I can put the Italy story in here. It's having a font problem. That's okay. I could take it all, select it all, go to my paragraph styles, force it into body copy. If it doesn't want to go, it go into body copy. I can see that there, and so on and so forth. I can be saving, and I do Control S and still save. It wants to give it a name and stuff. I want to make sure to put it in my folder. And I did give a name, but I won't give a name right now. So onward and onward. And then, of course, I can save out a PDF when I was done, and then, of course, I can upload that But as the problem is, that I see it is, if these connections only stay up for an hour, what happens to you if you get stuck in between? I guess you got to say every once in a while save your work and try to grab it all, pull it out. In the case of things like InDesign, or in the case of things like Dreamweavers that required multiple files and they kind of get linked together, you really got to grab the whole folder and copy it and put it someplace. But you can't copy it to your own desktop and work between from one to the other exactly. So that's the problem. You have to be using a Google Drive and or your email. And it's not like you can put a drive into that computer exactly. So unless I come up with some better ideas, or you do, you pretty much just have to hopefully get most of your work done in one session, hopefully in less than an hour, or then zip the folders, save them, send them to your email as a backup just in case something happened, which means you can end up with multiple files. You have to keep yourself better organized too. So I think that's a quick run through, a pretty good quick run through of using the virtual lab. I think it's a fantastic job they've done to be able to put this together so quickly and have it work so well as this really generally did. I'm uncertain how it's going to work on not such a good internet connection like it would be from my home. And you can see, yes, this works, but it would be a lot more convenient if you were in the lab here working in person. So that's still an option at this time.